The fifth habit of being a great effing visionary is to celebrate and use the visionary. The visionaries, we are often, we're very dramatic, and so everything's great, everything's horrible, and so ultimately, we don't always know what our role is and how we can help the company. And yet, it's a big role. So to celebrate, to say, you know what, gang, we are so lucky and fortunate to have an amazing visionary, and let's celebrate and let's use the visionary. So that's also being clear on the roles and responsibilities, not only for the visionary, but the whole company, to say, hey, do you know what Bob is here for? So in my first company, and as we put the role and responsibility of solve big problems, when an issue came up in a department L10, the department leader would say, hey, go talk to Bob about that. And they're like, oh my gosh, he's the owner. He's the visionary. I can't go to him with a problem. It's like, no. We know we have problems, so let's admit it. Let's call it an issue, and then let's identify, discuss, and solve that issue. And so one of the visionary's role often is solve big problems. So people had the ability to come to me and say, hey, Bob, do you have a couple minutes or schedule time to say, hey, here's the issue? And then I would say, okay, so what do you think we should do? Often I'll have an idea or thought. You own it. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm really good at that. And so it gave people the ability to come to me. It's not like I had that closed door that he's the visionary locked upstairs. It's, you know what? He's great at that, and use him for that. So we're great at solving big problems. We're great often, and these are stereotypes, but often visionaries are great at seeing gaps in an industry. Here's what's missing. Here's where the clients are struggling, or here's a vendor who's come up with a great solution to something. So we need to be out there looking at, where are the gaps? So can we fill those gaps or not? We are great at seeing gaps in people in our company. We are great at seeing gaps in our processes. So often I'd say, I think that's going to falter. No, we got it covered. And then we'd have a major meltdown, and people say, well, it was a perfect storm. Well, often the visionary is going to see where there are potential gaps. Can we solve them all today? Probably not, but to identify them. Now, again, my role is not to go and wander the shop and then point out everything that's wrong. But one of the things I used to do is twice a year, I would spend a week going through the whole company and just looking and asking questions and interviewing people. And then I would come back with all my thoughts to either my integrator or their direct boss to say, hey, here's things that I saw or heard, and here are some gaps or some opportunities. So use the uniqueness of the visionary to see gaps outside of our company and within our company. And then also to use the visionary, often we're great at inspiring. We are great at coaching and mentoring. Now it's coach and mentor when needed and when asked often, because I can't go around and do an end run around my leadership team, but ask me to say, hey, you know what? Patrick could really use a pep talk right now, or Mary is really struggling. And so a lot of time that was good cop, bad cop, where the visionary doesn't always have to be the good cop, but it's the integrator saying, hey, you know what, go kick so-and-so's butt, because they are just not doing it. And so people really relate and get excited about hearing from the visionary, and those words can be awesome. And again, as I'm out there and I see gaps, I smile and nod and go back either in a phone call or in the same page meeting to say, hey, integrator, did you know what I saw? And then it's like, okay, thank you for letting me know. I got it covered, or whatever it may be. But so celebrate and use some of the unique talents that we have.